Verified documents show the Army corrected his service record. Walz was reduced in rank to an E8 Master Sergeant after retirement and his conditional promotion. Alpha News again asked Governor Walz if he's using the Command Sergeant Major rank on his campaign website for political gain this year.
It's stolen valor is really what it is. I don't know of anybody else that's done what he's done.
This is stolen valor. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get you one of these Kamala Harris's. She's a scam artist. Get you a Kamala Harris. Or you can say Scamala, whichever way you say her name.
Turn that off.
I call her Scamala. Get you a Scamala Harris shirt. Link is in the description section. Discount code will pop up here for my YouTube people. Make sure you hit the like button. You guys have been doing great hitting the like button. Our likes are just blowing up, and it helps the video get out there. And if you like the video, you might as well hit the like button. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies. This Walz guy, this Tim Walz guy, is a nut, and the reason I'm doing this video is because I do think that it's more than just policy, right? There are people in the country that will focus on policy like they should, but there's a huge swath of people that focus on emotionalism, likability, and integrity. And Tim Walz is lacking all of the above. This man here exposed Tim Walz. He served with him. Exposed how he was a coward, how he quit the military, and he's literally going around promoting a stolen valor. And I'm telling you guys, as sure as I'm sitting here, I honestly believe if a person is operating in stolen valor or saying that they represent a certain position in the military and they knowingly and intentionally are doing it and never served in that position, they should go to prison for like 50 years. And you have to pay restitution or something. I despise people who steal valor. I despise, it makes me so upset. It's one of the things that just make me turn red. Like if I was a dictator, I would almost put you to death over stolen valor, because there's men and women who literally earn those stripes. They literally earn that reputation. They literally earn those bars. They literally earn those stars. They earn that Purple Heart. They earn this. And some people use it and go, yeah, I was in the United States military. I was in the Army. I was in the Marines, and I got a Purple Heart or something, and they didn't have one. Oh, I'm a 5-star general. I did this and did that. And you ain't even been in a combat zone. And then when y'all hear this story, you're going to lose respect for Tim Walz even more. Roll the clip. And this stuff is verified. It's not just somebody that's showing up in election time and talking about this. Is a man that's been putting this story out forever, but nobody listened.
He's back again to wage a public war of words against Tim Walz.
He abandoned us. What the hell kind of leader does that? He just, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit.
We'll get to Barron's new message for voters in a moment. But this all starts years earlier when Barron says Walz's misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018.
So you try to get this message out, but Minnesota's largest newspaper checks it out, says it's 100% true, but yet refuses to print.
When I hung the phone up, I said, what the hell is this, North Korea?
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Behrens was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, if this guy quit, and if I say I'm not going to do it, what the hell kind of leadership is that? If a company would say that we're going to deploy to Iraq or somewhere and you're going to be gone for whatever amount of time, and then the foreman just says, no, I'm not going. What does that say to the 500 people that work in that factory?
Behrens would go on to serve in Iraq on a nearly 2-year deployment as a command sergeant major. All while Walz began using that title as a congressman. Barron says he first contacted Walz with his concerns, sending these letters to Washington. They all went unanswered.
But then we fast forward to the election in 2018 in Minnesota, and you try at that time to get people's attention with this story and also with what seems to be a very misleading statement that he continued to make about his service.
It kind of just sat there. When he was a congressman, he bragged that he was a retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House, and all this lie that he was telling. The state of Minnesota came out after 2018, after this was exposed, and they said, well, he can say that he served as a command sergeant major, but he can't say he's a retired one because he's not.
And that's what he was saying.
And he was saying that, and there was lots of lots of cards coming in the mail, for him to be elected. They said right on there he's a retired command sergeant major, just tooting his own horn, just hanging on the coattails of people that actually are command sergeant majors that went through all the process and put all the time in.
A spokesperson for the Minnesota National Guard said Walz.
That dude looked weak. He looked like a little potato head crybaby. I don't really want that smoke in the military. He looked like this kind of guy. And the reason that I can say this type of stuff, because I was never a weak person like him. When I was on the police department, I tried to join the military, but I had a kid out of wedlock, and the Air Force wouldn't take me because I was going in as an officer. I had a degree. I went to the recruiting office. They said that me and my baby mama at the time had to get married and then I have to come back and apply because they wouldn't accept me as an officer. And then I was going to go to the Army. I'm not going to lie. I had just had my son. I was like, I can't get deployed for 18 months. I can't do it. I'm going to miss my son's whole life. And so I ended up joining the police department, which is still probably in many cases just as much of a combative service as in the military, especially when people don't even get deployed to combat zones. But on a police department, literally you're fighting every day. You're doing something crazy. And I was on SWAT. But while I was on SWAT, I went and applied to join the Marine Corps as a reserve because I wanted to still be a cop and then do the Marines. Because I always had a lot of respect for the Marines. I love the uniform, love the prestiginess of it. And I went in because I had a degree, I was going to go in as an officer. And I had too many tattoos. But the guy said that he would do a waiver for me. So I listed all my tattoos on this little paper, and he said, I'll send in the waiver. The dude never called me back, which at the end of the day, I'm happy about because God led me here, and he didn't obviously want me to do all that. But I'm never afraid to serve my country. I'll never run from a battle. I'll never run from a fight. And I don't like people like this that not only will run from a fight, but then use stolen valor to try to prop himself up and beat his chest and act like he's better than other people. And he didn't really serve like he said he did. But I can look at him and tell he a wankster. Okay.
Wasn't able to retire as a command sergeant major since he failed to complete coursework and requirements related to the rank. Verified documents show the Army corrected his service record. Walz was reduced in rank to an E8 Master Sergeant after retirement and his conditional promotion. Alpha News again asked Governor Walz if he's using the Command Sergeant Major rank on his campaign website for political gain this year. A spokesperson said this has been in the news before and pointed us to a past story where Walz said, quote, normally this type of partisan political attack only comes from one who's never worn a uniform.
It's stolen valor is really what it is. I don't know of anybody else that's done what he's done. But we called it the truth about Tim Walz.
In 2018, Barron's gave the story the full court press.
We, retired command sergeant majors of the Minnesota National Guard, feel it is our duty and responsibility to bring forth the truth as we know it concerning his service record. I put together information on it and I sent it out to every single radio station and newspaper and TV station I could in the state. The bottom line in all of this is gut-wrenching and sad to explain. When the nation called, he quit.
Twin Cities TV stations and the Star Tribune were silent, even after Barron says the newspaper checked it all out. The Star Tribune endorsed Walz in 2018 for governor.
Now, think about this real quick. He was governor when BLM burnt that city like that. And that wussy did nothing. He did not stand up against this. I don't know how people don't see how woke this dude is. DEI, all this old crazy stuff. He let that city burn. There's businesses that will never return back to that city ever. When that man could have had leadership enough to stop the violence. You can protest, you can do that, but to burn the city like that is crazy. And this is the kind of person that y'all think is a good VP?
Between lockdowns, riots, unchecked crime, and a charred police precinct, Behrens felt he had no choice but again to come forward.
Allowing that to be burned down was just like having the Alamo get burned down. It's like, no, you defend that to the last man. You know, if he would have went to Iraq, he'd still be hiding under his desk over there. Because that's just, just the cowardice that I seen portrayed with him.
So how about when he also comes out and he calls you guys 19-year-old cooks?
I'd take any 19-year-old cook before I'd go to war with him. I don't know how he could even utter such a statement. I mean, it's just absolutely sad.
So this election year, it's all built up again to Behrens' new grain bin message.
He called Jacob Fry an abject failure. So I was like, that's what he is.
Walz is a traitor, also made a return.
And the last one I put together, he said it himself too, as well, if they don't like my job, they can vote me out. So I wrote, vote him out. We need to vote him out.
100%. Alpha News, shout out to Alpha News for putting this video together. Vote him out. Vote that sorry son of a gun out. And don't elect that fool for VP. So, I think enough has been said, enough has been displayed, but I think we have to keep exposing these people, man. Some people are on the policy position. Clearly their policies are bad. Some people are going to not like the fact that this dude is running around with stolen valor, and let's see what his response is. Let's see how he deal with people saying, look, bro, you need to correct this. You intentionally sending this out on the flyers, and you can't say that. You can't claim that you retired in a position you didn't retire in. Anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.